Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Gamers on Gaming podcast brought to you by your host, Shady Knights, and his new co host, Lotus. Say hi, Lotus.
Hello.
Today we're discussing the PS4 conference because that's what everyone else is talking about, so why shouldn't we give our thoughts on the matter? Basically, we're just saying what the conference meant to us. We're not necessarily calling or predicting anything, but, everyone's giving their thoughts on it, so I figured we might as well join the fray. But I guess before we say anything, both of us so happen to be Sony fans. I like Sony. I've enjoyed my PS1 and 2. Have a lot of my PS1 games in somewhere. They're put up safely. And a lot of my PS2 games. Well, they are. I mean, I like my games. They're not in the boxes, unfortunately. They were the first console that lost their box exclusivity. The first disc console. Anyway. Yeah, I have my PS1 games, PS2, PS3. I like them. And so, it's not any hate or anything that or hate or excessive love getting on Sony. We are merely giving them constructive observation. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I definitely love Sony. I mean, my PSP is on my desk right in front of me right now, so.
See, she loves it more than I do. I don't even have a PSP. Sorry, I couldn't do that. I might get it. I mean, it only has one game that I want, and that's Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. But that's not enough for me. No. So, yeah. That's pretty much where we stand. We like them. Both very admiring of them, but yeah. So, okay. Seeing as I have someone who's actually organized here, we actually have a list of things we're going by to keep me from rambling on for an hour and a half. And so yeah, we'll just be going over that. So I guess I'll ask you, seeing as you're the new co-host on this, could you tell us in your own words how you felt about this presentation?
You really want to know?
Yes, I am dying to know.
I feel like I asked for a triple chocolate mocha, and they gave me a cookie. It looked great. It was in HD and everything, but it was hard as a rock.
I feel like I asked for a cake and I was giving just that, a cake. I wouldn't say vanilla, but a cake with very little vanilla used and no frosting whatsoever. Everything I expected to be there was there. The milk, the egg, all of that was in that cake. But it was nothing pow, pizzazz, wham kind of thing. This, to me, came off as obviously not a release to you and I and everyone else. It came off to me as a release to the developers and the people who care about specs with a console, which is okay, but I think that would have been better served as a closed door, turn all the cameras off press release, as opposed to this, because it's like, it's like they're trying to talk to both of us at the same time, and when you do that, you're going to talk over or under somebody, and it just comes off as muddled to me. That's how I felt about it. It was nothing special, which is really weird. It's the big PS4 release, and you would think they were going to do something just really to grab one's attention, but so far from how we feel and from what I've read and seen other people feel, it wasn't too far out of the park on what anyone expected. In fact, the most commonly read statement I've ever seen about this conference was, "It's exactly what I expected," for good or ill. I mean, well, they didn't say for good or ill, but they did say it's exactly what I expected. I don't quite see how that's a good thing with the game, though. I mean,
Yeah, not really. It seemed a lot more like they were catering to people that didn't really already know what the system would be about, but if anybody pays attention to what the system has, it's all the same.
More or less, you know. Ooh, now the controller. Yes. See, we here, a little full disclosure, folks. We've talked about this a lot, and this is the first time I get to hear her say this as opposed to read. So please, controller, your feelings and thoughts. I'm dying.
Oh, it looks sleek. I will say that, but it also looks funny. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What is this? Where's the PlayStation controller?" It's like they took something else and then just melded it with the PS3 controller.
It does have that look, because I am looking at it on the screen now. Yeah. I'm going to constantly whine about this until I play it, but no start or select button. I don't get that. I see there is an options button, la-di-da, but is that start? Have they melded the two to one button? I don't quite. My brain cannot wrap itself around it. It is too stuck into the old PlayStation controller, I guess. I can
Maybe that's what the touchpad is for. 2 extra buttons. They're gonna put the select and the start right there.
Wait. So you mean
It's all shiny.
I gotta swipe vertically for start and horizontally for select?
Maybe.
Oh God, help me, please. I don't know how to feel about that. I kind of hope you're right now. I hope you're right. That would be worth it. Oh my God.
I can't think of anything else it'll be for.
That's the weird thing. Oh, okay. My pet peeve, the button, the touchpad. I don't quite know how to feel about this at all. I mean, it's really weird because last generation with the PS3, it was all about, well, not all about, to get that casual market. Sony got the PlayStation Move, which was very similar to the Wiimote and the nunchuck, except missing the connection between the two, and that was their way to battle the Wii U. I mean the Wii. So is this touchpad supposed to battle the Wii U? How is a touchpad supposed to compete with a screen that you can touch and manipulate in some form or fashion? Because that, again, kind of baffles me. What could it be used for? I don't know. Maybe I'm not that brilliant of a designer yet, but it's not an ass ugly controller. I'm pretty sure it's for something, but that's the problem. They didn't tell me what it was for. They didn't tell me what it was going to do. So all I'm left here is speculating. Now, blah blah E3. That's when they announced this stuff. But don't even bring it out if you're not going to tell me anything. I mean, not to the public. If you're going to bring it out to the public, I think you owe them an explanation. So I shouldn't be sitting here confused, because I'm not necessarily angry confused. I'm just scratching my head confused. I don't quite get it. Oh, and it has...
That's kind of the thing, though. Like, aren't they supposed to make us feel excited rather than just going like, what the heck is this?
I thought that was supposed to be the plan. Again, it's kind of like they're copying Nintendo's formula for releasing a console. Because if I'm not mistaken, for every generation that I was paying attention to, during and after 64, they always showed you the controller, and then later on they sprung out the console to you, and then we oohed and ahhed and, that's interesting. How's that going to work? And that's how it worked. But the thing is, Nintendo kind of gave you a little information. Well, unless they were just showing you the controller when they were doing the E3 releases. Controller, this is how you're going to play from now. It does this and that and this and that. Motion controls, bye. This, they said, here's a new DualShock controller. It has a touchpad. And an LED. Alright, so these
Whatever
games...
that's for.
What'd you say?
I said whatever that's for.
Yeah. I don't quite. I don't know. That's odd. And okay, there's a share button, which is interesting. We get to share our content. A point we'll get to later on, but there's a button where you can do that. It's right there on the controller. I find it interesting that they would put a button on the controller that they are not 100% certain everyone will use, because even though I do Let's Plays and even though it takes me forever to finish my Let's Plays, I don't see anything that will encourage me to use that share button just yet, especially considering a lot of gamers who do Let's Plays either have or are going to purchase recording devices. So you have to convince them with this that they shouldn't get a recording device to capture all the HD consoles, because this one console is going to do it, if that makes any sense, You have to convince them not to spend money on this one thing to save up money to get the PS4. Kind of a risky thing to do. But other than its interesting design, with it looking to me like a spaceship and a PS4 melded together and put on a pair of socks, it's not. It's a look that I'm pretty sure will grow on me in time. I'm sure it will.
It'll just take a while.
Yeah, it's a cultural shock thing. It's been almost 20 years, about 15 years or so since the PS1.
Oh gosh, yeah, probably.
So yeah, it's been the same for so long. It'll take a minute. It'll just take a minute. Oh boy. But to, I guess, bolster sales, they also have been talking about using your Vita for controllers. So I guess that's where my start and select buttons went. I find that, again, a very odd thing to do. Why would you use that as a controller? Or it's odd. The Vita is missing two buttons as well, that being L2 and R2, which are also two very important buttons for games. So, where are the brilliant ideas for this? I mean, I guess you could argue that the touch face and the touch back would be the L and R for the Vita, or maybe the two sides on the back of the touch back would be the L and R. Depending on the sides, maybe they have that mapped out. But again, it's a very odd decision to Shady Nights. Not quite.
I don't know though. Like, my thought is, I play on a console much more than I do on a handheld, and the handheld is flat and it's not very comfortable. I would not want to use a Vita constantly for a console.
Right.
It just does not sound comfortable at all.
I mean, one of the biggest reasons I didn't get a 3DS yet is because I wanted a 3D XL, because I have a DSi and I play Final Fantasy Tactics Advance 2 on that thing, and it's a good game. But after playing it for like 2 hours straight, my hands were killing me because it was so cramped. And my fingers are pressing against the back hard, and it's, like you said, a flat thing, and it's not curved, or it's not meant for long extended periods of time like you will catch me playing a very, very addictive game on. So
right.
I don't get the point in that. And people complain about, the battery life. If you're going to use this as a controller, I don't know, maybe the Vita has a good battery life, but it's very weird. Why? I don't know. I haven't held the Vita. Maybe it's actually as comfortable as a controller pad. I don't know. I don't know many people who do own one, but I will say that if this is going to be maybe if the touchpad on the PS4 controller is kind of a push to make you get the Vita for a controller, I think asking someone to pay about $200 for a controller is ridiculous.
Agreed.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah. I mean, there are rumors that the gamepad for the Wii U would cost like $100 or so, but those rumors and speculations and suppositions. We don't know that yet. We do, however, know that a Vita costs about $200. That is a fact. So, yeah. I also don't get why they put speakers on the PS4 controllers. If I mentioned that or not. How?
No.
Right where my start and select would be, but
Have a speaker.
I miss you start and select already.
I like my speaker on my Wii mode, thank you. I don't know why it's on the PS4 controller.
I like my speakers on my Wii U. Those things that thing is loud. It's actually very nice. But I don't quite get why it's here. Also, I think there is a headphone jack on this PS4 controller. Now that I look,
Is there?
I think so. It's a very bad picture of the top of it, from the one you sent me, but you can kind of see there is a little opening there. I think that is a headphone set. That'd be cool. I'll give them that. It's nice when my dad is asleep, since his room is right next door to mine, to just plug in my Bose headphones and enjoy my video games and whatnot in blissful silence.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice to use on the PS4, I suppose. I know. There's no reason to suppose. But then again, I do also have the headphones that I'm using now that are actually for my PS3. So, I get... Whatever. People may not have that. Everyone has headphones. That's actually not bad. So...
If it's not for that, then it might just be for the USB plug.
You know what? That makes a lot of... Yep, you're right. It has that little sign for the USB thing. I can see it now that you mention it. Huh. Well, egg on my face. So, final verdict on the controller from what I see. I'll have to see what they do with it. I'll have to hold it and give it the same shot I give all Nintendo's controllers, because I don't think... Yeah, Nintendo made some new controllers for every generation, so why not? It could be great. It could be the new N64 controller, and I love their controller.
Yeah, that is nice.
So, alright. Well, I'll give it the... I don't know what to think about it. There's not been enough told and explained to me, and not enough demonstrated to me for me to care, for me to be excited about it. Again, I'm just confused. And I guess we're now moving on to the part that you want to talk about.